spilled beer on the noise muffler. Bum, bum, bum.
What?
Oh, that's real sweet. Good thing I'm cooking these things down today. There's fruit flies flying around my house now.
Really?
Yeah, I buy tomatoes from a farm market, and next thing you know, my house is infested. Nature, you rotten bitch.
This is funny. Check out this dating site I'm looking at. I still have my online dating profiles.
Yeah.
This girl sent me a message. Living in St. Agnes. I just think this is funny. Intent. Looking for a relationship. And then there's this photo.
I think she's intent on you looking at her tits.
Like, you know what I mean?
You know what is I had one of those profiles, and you know what's great about those is the I'm from St. Ignace. No, you're not.
That's what I'm thinking.
You don't live anywhere near.
That's what I'm going, I'm pretty sure I know pretty much everyone around St. Agnes. But you know what's funny? Is like, do you have children? Yes. Normally with those single mothers of 2 boys from St. Agnes, I love to spend my free time on weeknights hanging out with my boys because they're the coolest little people I know. Not the coolest big people, but the coolest little people. But on weekends, when they are away, I like to go out with my friends and enjoy life. Oh, she wants boner.
I think she wants you to drop a quarter in the peep show machine.
You think so?
You know, it seems pretty legit, but the Russians that do that cam girl shit, they've caught on to what language to use. You know, like, I'm from St. Ignace. I'm looking for a nice man. You're like, no one speaks like that anywhere around there. But because of the people that live around here, sometimes some of those people are really living in St. Ignace,
right.
Because there's, you know, she could be a Czech girl who works at the Driftwood.
This would be a girl that if I met at the Driftwood and was like, "You want to rock and roll?" I'd be like, "Sure." I will not be, but I will not be setting anything up. Gonna go ahead and just.
Did she contact you, or is that just who's viewed your profile kind of
No,
thing?
she contacted me.
You know, nobody ever contacted me. I think it was the comment that I made in my profile about how.
Did you have one of these? The Plenty of Fish or whatever?
No, it was just Yahoo or something. I had in my description that I made the joke about how I can dress myself and feed and dress myself.
And I love cunts.
Yeah, and then at some point my mother found that profile and she's like, "You need to take yourself more seriously. You're not gonna meet any kind of girl if you can't take that kind of thing seriously." And I'm sitting there thinking to myself,
Oh my god.
it's an online dating thing. I can't take this seriously. You know?
I was talking to this girl for a little while.
And then the fact that, like, Yahoo, to even communicate with anybody, charges you, I'm not paying for that.
Fuck off.
You know, if I'm gonna pay,
They charge you?
If I'm gonna pay to talk to women, I'm gonna get drunk while doing it, and it's called going to the bar.
Let's justify our online dating by disparaging the local bar scene.
Right, and you know, oh well, you don't want to. You know the kind of people that you meet in the bars. I can fully understand that justification.
People
for
like
not
me.
doing that. But you know,
No, because some people only go out to the bar once in a while, and that's why you have to go every night, so you meet all of those people.
just like the song lyric goes, I can't go camping. What if something's shown on TV and is never shown again? You know, you got to go to the bar every night because otherwise you might miss out on that. Oh, there was this really sweet girl. She came in. You know, oh yeah, where's she from? Yeah, she church was canceled tomorrow, so she came in to have a couple of drinks. She was a lot of fun, real nice. You'll meet her next time church is canceled.
Church is canceled. That makes me think of two things. A, that's really funny. Church is canceled. Like, like on the bulletin board, that thing that they have in front of all the churches. Church is canceled for the day. And
sorry, no rain checks.
And the other thing is, for some reason, when you said look at song lyric goes.
I'm sorry, we're all out of salvation. Yes.
Right? What are you, Jehovah's Witness? You are, aren't you?
Oh,
No, but the other
I'm
thing.
cutting up tomatoes for the listeners. I'm cutting up tomatoes to make sauce so I can can the sauce, and then that's what the chopping noises in the kitchen are.
But when you said, excuse me, but when you said the song lyric goes, it you could do that at any given point. I could be like, well, like the song lyric goes, chopping tomatoes is good for you. You'd be like, I never heard that song. I'd be like, well, yeah, I just wrote it just now. That's now a song lyric.
Or then there's wait, you pretentious prick. You think you've heard every song that exists?
You know what, Dan? I'm giving you this.
Ooh, the last cracker and the last cheese.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you for setting those out.
Cheese and crackers for snacks. Always a good time. Yeah, you have a Bush Light there.
I'm pretty good at it too.
I've decided to go retarded, and I'm drinking a bottle of Boone Farms Fuzzy Navel because it's in my refrigerator.
Where did that come from?
I bought it out of like a nostalgia thing for some kind of event that we were doing. Like, oh, we're taking a bike ride around the island and we're going to go hang out at British Landing.
Right. Oh, yeah, back then we always used to drink Boone's Farm.
Yeah. And then I never drank it, so it's just sitting there in the fridge. And then so today I decided that I'd be an idiot and drink Boone's Farm out of a wine glass.
Wait, you bought that when you were with the...
What's her face?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, what's her face?
Yeah, and then we played trivia later on that night, and
Yeah.
I won the hat. My magic hat.
I won you that hat.
Okay.
Mr. Know Nothing Trivia.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, fuck yourself.
We did pretty well last week. Was that last week?
Yeah.
We doing that again tomorrow?
I can't.
Fine then. I'm in the way. For our listeners at home, I'm in the way. By the way, there's a spider up there. That's why I got up.
What?
Right behind you. Directly behind you.
There?
Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Actually, it might be one of those things that as long as you don't get behind the microphone and you speak loudly enough, it probably doesn't matter if you wander around. But unfortunately, you can't wander around not being behind the microphone because otherwise you're in my way.
But I was behind the microphone and talking.
Yeah, and it probably didn't pick you up.
Really? It goes this way? I'm talking now. How's it going? Not even picking me up, huh?
It's picking you up, but it's very faint.
Picking me up, you slutty little microphone.
Big ol' slut.
Big old slut.
Look at the contenders on that thing.
Yeah.
I'd clog her windscreen.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, yeah, and then cutting up the tomatoes here. They're stewing down in the pot. Run them through the food mill, put them in the jars after they've been sterilized. It'll be a great time. But in the meantime, also going to cook up some flank steak and mashed potatoes.
Oh, for real?
For reals. I can't believe I just said for reals.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, and I'd feel better about it if I was able to have gone to church yesterday, but unfortunately it was canceled.
Church canceled. They got it on the bulletin board, just right up front.
Yeah, and the fact that it says church and not today's service.
Right, church is canceled.
Church.
Like it's a TV show or something. You know?
Church, immediately after house. Immediately
and
after
then,
Monster Garage.
and then Denny's immediately after church. Because that's where they go to get coffee and
Denny's?
breakfast. After church.
Mm,
Big boy.
I'd go with Bob Evans.
It's not Bob Evans.
No?
It's Big Boy.
Okay.
Hey, you ever notice those people from the South call it Elias Brothers?
Yeah, because that's what it is.
No, it's Big Boy.
Well, it's Elias Brothers Big Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, people from the South say all kinds of silly things.
Look, well, you know what's funny is that makes me now wonder, since it's Elias Brothers Big Boy.
The fools!
Like, did it just catch on? Like, was it formerly, McDonald's Cowtown or something, equally obscure? But then it just caught on, like people in the South say Elias Brothers instead of Big Boy. So just McDonald's.
I'm having difficulty wrapping my head around where your train of thought is with your comparison of McDonald's and what it possibly had been named before.
Right.
The only comparison I could make to what you're going for would be like Ray Kroc's McDonald's.
No.
Because it's apostrophe S on the Elias Brothers.
That's what I'm saying. McDonald's is
Ken Hardy's Steakhouse.
Who's Ken Hardy?
I don't know, I just made it up.
Really?
I bet there's a Ken
Let's
Hardy's.
let's start at Ken Hardy's
Alright.
Steakhouse. That sounds like a good place to eat, doesn't it?
Well, I'm having a bad recollection of that sort of thing is how...
That just sounds like a good meal. Ken Hardy's, come on down. Where we have the heartiest meals ever.
I wouldn't ever have anything to do with the kitchen or a dining room that had anything about hearty meals. Unless
Unless what
I was
you're
just
serving.
taking the money from it and there was a big, giant, fat woman cooking.
Or unless they just served heart.
Yeah, beef heart, pig heart,
Is it hearty or hearty?
hearty.
That's what I thought. Someone corrected me once.
No, hearty is like the boys.
Yeah. Hearty. Full of heart.
Full of
How long's this wishbone been here?
I don't know. Because I can't ever remember if that's a turkey wishbone, a duck wishbone. Do ducks even have wishbones?
Oh, yeah, because you
I
have
haven't
duck
cooked a
last-
turkey here in a long time.
That kind of looks like a duck one.
When I cook Thanksgiving, I cook duck. And that might be a year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. Not any older than 5. Oh, listeners, can you hear the tomatoes sizzle in the pot?
I think they can. Judging by the waves on the
Yeah.
computer mabobber.
Yeah, there's
That looks like it's coming in really quiet, too.
the waves on the Hinneman might just very well be the. Might very well just be the. Might very well just be the refrigerator groaning.
It's had a hard day. Lay off.
Well, I wouldn't be so picky with the refrigerator these days if it didn't decide to have a spaz out and start rusting from the inside out,
Seriously?
which is giving me the impression that its days are numbered. Because if it's rusting through, see all that? If it's rusting through like that, that means the insulation's wet. And if the insulation has gotten wet, then it's not holding the cold in properly. It'd be like trying to keep yourself warm with a wet blanket.
I think that would work. If you use warm water?
Not for very long.
It depends on where you are. No? Not so much?
No.
No. Absolutely not.
You know, I was watching something the other day, and as an example of what it is I'm referring to is the show Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
They had an Old Navy uniform, and the dad was saying it's World War II. The son was saying it's World War I. Dad says, I know that it's World War II because I used to wear one of these. And nobody would believe him. And then a appraiser guy comes in and says, yeah, it's World War II. Then somebody asks, why were the pant cuffs so huge? And the dad says, that's so that they're bell bottoms like that, so that when you fall in the water, you can take them off over your shoes. And everybody said, yeah, okay, that's great. And that seemed like a perfectly valid explanation for a question that maybe not a lot of people ask, you know.
Right.
You know, nobody bothers to ask because, oh, well, that's just how sailors wore their pants. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uniform details with that sort of thing that aren't necessarily practical, like epaulets. Aside from the practicality of being able to display your rank, but, you know, what I got to thinking about the other day was this idea of that guy could have been completely full of shit. And say he is full of shit. How many people are now running around telling everybody about how, well, you know, sailors have bell-bottom pants because they might have to take off their pants and while in the water and they don't have to take off their shoes. And then everybody takes it as gospel, and next thing you know, there's a Wikipedia entry about it, and it was all just some guy talking out of his ass. You know, like me telling people that nougat is mined.
It's on TV. It has to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be true. So that's why it's gospel. If it wasn't before, it is now. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't think I have any new notes. Oh, no. You know what I do? Talking to my friend Amanda. Our friend Amanda, outside the Irish pub, hosting. And some old dudes came up to her and said, hey, is this where we get drunk? And she was like, yeah. And you know what's funny is that's awesome when old people do that. It's awesome when old people do that. But guys our age, walking around saying, hey, is this where we get drunk? You're a douchebag. You're a fucking asshole.
He's an instant dick.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, get the fuck away from here. Yes, there's beer in there. Don't be a douche about it. You know, like...
No, this is a dry pub, asshole.
Is this where we get drunk? Yes, old dude, and that makes me want to give you a high five. And old dude's like, I don't give high fives. And I go, that just makes me want to high five you even more.
You slap him in the face. Well, this is what we do to people that don't do high fives, old man.
You're one of the hardest people to high five.
Well, people raise their hand to me, and for some reason, even as a person who is never beaten, you raise your hand over my face, and I immediately just kind of flinch.
You wince.
What are you doing?
Every time someone goes for a high five, that's why you're kicked out of that frat, wasn't it?
Well, that, and I wouldn't let them insert Sharpie markers into my asshole, and then brand me with a hot coat hanger or coat hanger.
Yeah, but mostly because of the high five thing.
Yeah, you're not one of us. How can we trust you if you won't high five? That's right.
That's absolutely. Well, you know, that was their secret handshake.
Very secret.
Yes. We're all part of that fraternity.
I would be more inclined to do that sort of thing if people would high five, and instead of just taking the hand slapping noise, for what it is, then add the what is normally used post fist bump explosion,
Right.
where it's the combination of high five slapping noise and explosion from.
From the fist bump, yeah.
Yeah, so that I might be more inclined to participate in, just because it's so auditory.
You should, well, you know, you should join. You should join the frat that we're all in. Give me 5 a dude bra. It's the name of the frat. It's pretty good.
Kappa Kappa dude bra? Yeah, right.
No, give me 5 a dude bra.
Oh,
Give me 5 a
yeah,
dude
yeah.
bra.
That is what you said. I had Kappa Kappa in my head for some reason.
No, lambda, lambda, lambda. Yeah, sure. You got your revenge. You know what? Let's make a movie called Revenge of the Frat Dudes. Cause the nerds had their revenge like what, 4 times? How many times can you get revenge if you keep winning?
Well, yes. Yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the only problem, I don't have a problem with it. I think what would be interesting about that sort of thing, though, is instead of the normal system that the Revenge of the Nerds movies have, where, to see, now that you put it in that perspective, now I'm thinking that the nerds keep having to get revenge.
Yeah.
Well, if they won before, that only means one thing. The jocks were getting uppity. Because if on May of 1984, the nerds got their revenge.
If that's the original release date, you are my hero.
Okay? That next fall, the beginning of that next semester, all of a sudden the jocks are getting squirrely and holding the nerds down in some fashion. Where do they get off? So it's not necessarily the revenge of the nerds, it's the uprising of the jocks.
There we go. That's our movie. I think there's enough fraternal brothers of Gimme 5 a Dude Bra that would support that.
Gimme 5 a dude bra. Yeah. That would be quite a thing.
I'm telling you. And then at the premiere we could just we could have a special thing only for fraternity brothers, and we could tell just because when they came up and bought their ticket, if their hat was on straight, they weren't allowed. Clearly not a member of Gimme 5 a Dude Bra. It's either got to be backwards or tilted sideways if you're super awesome.
What if the head is flat brimmed?
Who was the first person to wear their hat sideways? Like, I understand there is some amount of dare I say legitimacy to wearing a hat backwards, like alright, you're getting down to business, you get the brim out of your way, but you want your hair out of the way too, so you flip it around backwards, like, alright, let's get this done. Like there is some sort of utilitarian purpose to
Crawling
that.
around in the crawl space.
Like there is something to that. But who's the first guy who said, well, I'm not going to wear it backwards, I'm certainly not going to wear it, straight on and look like a guy who knows how to put clothes on. So I'm gonna put it completely to the side. Who was that guy?
His name was Stephen Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. So you're saying it's a Mexican thing?
That's Italian.
That's what I said.
No, he's actually a Finn.
Well, is Giuseppe his last name?
I'm not even. I'm done making up a dumb name.
Oh, so now anyone named Giuseppe has a dumb name.
Steven Giuseppe? Yeah, I doubt there's as bad as Jim
What's up,
Gillespie.
man?
Hey, Tom, what's happening?
Oh, you're cooking a big pot there, man.
I got 2 big pots going. I'm cooking down tomatoes.
Yeah, that's good. So you're okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah, man, easy. What's it, Naren?
Get it? You were just afraid that you might lose track of a recording.
No. All right. Time for the food mill.
Food mill. I've never seen a food mill.
It mills food.
So is that a coincidence?
No,
That's why I named it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just about to say that's crazy. Oh, seriously, food mill.
You watch yourself.
Oh. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you don't edit that out, I'll kill you.
Here we go. Turning the crank, smashing the tomato pulp through the sieve. The sieve having holes in it, just smaller than tomato seeds commonly are. The skin doesn't go anywhere, but the mill mashes the pulp through,
Can I do that next time?
and you wind up with nothing but essentially worthless gook that is pretty handy for your mulch pile, but not much else.
Oh, wait, so what do you keep? The stuff at the top of the mill or the bottom? Yeah.
It's liquid at the bottom, and I'll reduce that down.
When you say
And then that
reduce,
I'll cook it. And I'll cook the water that's in it away.
okay. Can I spin the mill?
Yes.
For reals? Awesome.
Yes, you can spin the mill. Now, when you do that,
You do
turn it clockwise,
and then
and then it'll start
occasionally-
loading up, and then you back it off.
Okay. So
And that's like literally boiling hot, so don't do anything spastic.
right. So I do that. It's built up. So I give it 1 or 2 this way, and then
Yeah. See how it's changing state all the time. The more you do that, the more you're being overly aggressive. You need to relax. Yeah, all right.
It's pretty awesome. Look at me. I'm being organic.
Mm,
We use every part of the buffalo and the tomato, except for the parts that we throw away.
I can't guarantee that that is 100% work. No, it is not, because I have used various household pesticides. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. What do you think about that?
So what are you gonna do with this food milled
Oh,
tomatoes?
the end result is a liquid that I'll be able to either just use and pretend it's whole tomatoes, but it's now liquid. Because most of the things I use whole tomatoes for, I don't need whole tomatoes. I just need what tomatoes are,
Right.
and so there it is.
So give me sauce? Say?
Yeah, sauce.
Sauce.
Yes, not spaghetti type sauce, but just like sauces that require tomato, where I might put whole tomato in on top of like with chicken broth.
I think she's dead, Jim.
Let me take a look. And then because it is what it is, if I want to make tomato sauce, all I gotta do is just cook it for a little bit longer.
And then add some tomatoes.
No, it is the tomatoes.
Good. Thank you.
I'm not. Yeah, sorry. No, actually, the reason why I stuttered was one of the ways that I can speed up. Like this liquid is pretty thin for making spaghetti sauce with. You see.
Yeah, it's very thin.
One of the
That's what I
ways
was saying.
to speed that up to make spaghetti sauce is to add a can of tomato paste, which is that real thick stuff.
Right.
And then it would be like I don't have to.
So you do add tomato.
I could add tomato, and that's what hung me up on that gag that you just pulled up. Is this when I add the tomato? Oh, I just idiot. I'm gonna.
So how do you store something like this, though?
Oh, can them. And I'm cranking out some pepper onto the flank steak.
What is a flank steak?
It comes from the flank of a cow.
What's the flank?
The flank is right here in front of the back legs. It's at the bottom of the cow on the bottom of the cow right in front of the back legs.
I'd just like to remind our listeners that the flank is right here.
Yes, it is. And those listeners,
I got your flank right here. It's funny because where the flank's actually located.
right here? Yes, the flank is located right here.
What were you about to say about our listeners?
I'm not going to say anything about the listeners because it was going to be a dumb joke that I'm just going to let go.
Keep tuning in. We'll get the hang of this someday.
Oh, speaking of listeners, welcome, Beatons.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to mention that we had quite a few listeners from Beta listening a couple of weeks ago, and hopefully,
Hopefully, might
everybody
give
had
us
a good
another
time.
chance.
Not the greatest thing in the world, but it's something to listen to on your way to work that isn't Bob and Tom in the morning zoo.
Hey, look at me! I got a honky horn. Honk honk! You just tuned in. What was the David Cross joke? Thanks for joining us for the Friday morning fart song. morning radio.
I wouldn't mind a fart song, but I demand that the fart song be played on Wednesdays.
Well, you know what I realized? Well, Friday morning fart song, Friday fart song. I realized the other day that I absolutely adore alliteration.
Yes, you do. It's not a bad one, Chairman.
I try, and I think it comes across.
One more pot of this stuff to mash through.
I think you should do the opening right now. I think you should do the opening. Like, what, how far in are we? Quite some time. It won't be the time that we say it is, because it'll get edited down, because, believe it or not, what you actually hear isn't our worst material.
Yeah, 35 minutes. This is going to be a nightmare to edit.
I just, you know what? Leave that in there for me, please. So when I listen to it, so that we get 2 listens. Leave that your 35-minute mark in, so that I can see just where that, how much was lost.
Oh,
So that we all know how much was lost.
yeah, I can do that.
It's gonna come at like the 3-minute mark. Oh man, we're like 35 minutes in. It's like 2 bad jokes. Like, I absolutely adore alliteration.
That guy stews tomatoes fast. It only took 7 minutes.
Right? I like to think that they're actually listening to it for the just people who just love hearing people stew tomatoes. They're like, oh, I wish they'd quit talking and just tell me more about the tomato stewing. Is that what you're doing though, seriously, or is this stewing tomatoes?
Yeah,
By all means.
pretty much.
I'm back on the food mill. You know, when you say food mill, seriously, I'm not even like.
In the old days, the food mill was used all the time. It's easily disassembled for cleaning. They used to be used, wives would use them daily,
Yeah.
especially if they had infants. Well, because you could cook food and then mash it through that thing, and then you had baby food.
food. Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's great for applesauce. It's great for jellies. You cook down the berries. You run them through the
Okay.
food mill. You don't have as many seeds in your jelly. You know, because raspberries have, they can have a lot of seeds in them.
Yeah.
And ever since things were industrialized, and metal pots were made, and things could be made like that, that's how long that thing's been around. And it's looked just like that, except for it might have had a wooden handle.
That's crazy.
Do you remember the two of us going out the door at Goodfellows having a smoke, and you looked up and you said, "What the hell is that?" And I looked up and I said, "It's probably a satellite."
Yeah.
You know what that was?
No, what was that?
The International Space Station.
Oh, awesome!
That was people.
I knew that wasn't a plane because it had so many lights or whatever. It had lights like a plane, but it wasn't moving fast like a plane would. And that's why you said it wasn't a satellite, because the satellite would probably be moving faster.
Well, that's the thing, is it was just one light moving very, very fast that you could tell was really far away, and it just this thing. It like in a matter of from the backyard here, from tree line to tree line, it's a matter of it only takes 3 minutes for it to go from being visible to out
No.
of sight. And that's really cool. There was people up there.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Wow. I'm glad you brought that up, and I had entirely forgotten about that because for what we knew, that was a UFO,
Well, it was unidentified and it was flying.
and it was also an object.
And it was an object, yeah. Well, I've moved on to cooking dinner. I'm making a bit of a sauce with shallots, garlic, beef broth. Today I decided to get adventurous, and for some reason I decided to put cloves in it. I don't know what's going to result.
The cigarette? You chop. Are those illegal now?
No,
Cloves?
no.
I heard that I haven't seen anyone with germs. I thought
No.
flavored tobacco
You can
was...
smoke. You can smoke cloves. You can't smoke beaties.
Well, yeah, I know the beaties are long since.
Yeah, cloves are still legal.
Because I thought the new thing made that so that anything flavored in tobacco like was illegal, and that they were afraid they were gonna start gunning for menthols.
Oh, that's a perspective I hadn't thought about. Shit, I don't know.
No, don't take the menthols.
What will we do without them? Also, there's some potatoes boiling in some water. I've added some of my Boone's Farm just to add some kick, because everybody loves Boone Farm mashed potatoes.
And kick.
And kick, yes. That was honestly one of my favorite INXS albums.
It was one of my favorite high caffeinated beverages growing up also.
Zing. I don't know. Kick.
Kick? You don't remember Kick? It was from the same people who brought you Royal Crown Cola. It was their equivalent of Mountain Dew.
I thought Jolt. Oh.
Jolt was
it
their
green.
Oh no, it was from the same people who brought you Jolt, not Royal Crown. Sorry.
Well, I thought Jolt was made by Royal Crown.
All right, so then I'm not crazy.
Was Kick green?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was their Mountain Dew, and what was funny is that it advertised X amount more caffeine than Jolt, and on top of it, it was 39 cents. 39 cents. I shit you not.
I know what you're talking about now, especially with the 39-cent thing.
Yeah. It was 39 cents, and I used to have one every day when I was like 14, and because I needed caffeine apparently.
That sounds like a pretty average thing.
Because I was an idiot buying an energy drink.
Yeah, but at least it was a valid energy drink, full of sugar and chemicals and dyes and artificial flavors. None of this.
25% yellow number 5.
Yeah, that's the good kind. If you're gonna be if you're gonna be wasting my time, you better be polluting your body.
So are you trying to insinuate that Monster is good for you?
Right. No, I don't know what I'm saying. No.
You bet.
My argument has become invalid.
Your argument is invalid. I have a space laser from the space station. That's why they were driving by. I wanted to be able to look up and yell, "How's that space laser coming?" And then they looked down and they were like, "Pretty good. Coming along all right."
We're still looking for somebody to test it on. That actually reminds me of something that made me laugh the other day. Millimeter beam weapons. They got Raytheon makes this device that sends millimeter waves into your person, and then you get this intense feeling of being burned, but you're not really being burned.
But
So
it's
like
a
riot
sensation.
control, crowd. Yes, it's just a sensation. It's crowd control. So they get this idea. Oh, we'll send it over to Afghanistan. Well, somebody over in Afghanistan concluded this is not going to win the hearts and minds of anybody. We're not using it on the Afghanis, or the Taliban, or whoever they claim that they're dealing with over there. So what does Raytheon do? They conclude, well, we'll build a miniature version and give it to LA County jails. So they won't use it on the people we're at war with, but they'll be more than willing to use it on our citizens while imprisoned. And they have all kinds of explanations why this is a good thing, because they don't have to shoot dummy bullets at them. They're not using tear gas. They're not beating them to death with billy clubs. Their explanation was that these prisons are the prison that it was given to. They have a lot of riots, and the people are out of control, and our guards tend to fly off the handle a lot, and there are a lot of reports of abuse. So we'll give them this device to keep them from beating these guys senseless. And what really made me laugh about it was that the reporters, as they were having this device tested on them, were just laughing hysterically about how, oh, it burns, okay. And you just get out of the way, and the thing, it's aimed at you. So, like, you can move 2 feet, and it's no longer affecting you. And they're just thinking it's a great old thing. And I was sitting there thinking, of all the people to be spazzed out about it, I would think that NPR would be rather upset about the idea of using millimeter waves. And it turns out also, maybe this is the new thing, millimeter waves, because the millimeter waves are what's used to do the body scan so they can look at your cock and balls when you go take a flight.
They could look at my cock and balls?
Oh yeah, they got these things. Oh, that's not what we're looking at though. Yeah, that's what they're looking at.
They're looking at my cock and balls?
Oh, your cock and balls. They're looking at your boobies.
Well, I mean, they're A cups at best. Well, I think I might be going towards a B. Shit. Now you've made me depressed.
Flank steaks going in the oven.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Raytheon. for making me feel self-conscious about my boobies.
Hey, anything they can do to create a better tomorrow.
I'd like to think of people actually trying to build tomorrow.
Yeah, but you know what I see? I see a whole bunch of people trying to build tomorrow, and they're reading the blueprints wrong.
Right? Yeah. Do we have blueprints for tomorrow? I'd like to see those. You know, Blue?
No. Well, I would guess that the blueprints for tomorrow are contained in the Popular Mechanics archives.
From yesterday?
And that's where I say that they're not reading the blueprints correctly because, you know, as the old joke goes, where is my flying car? You know, I'd also I'd like
to tie it down?
I'd like to buy back issues of Unpopular Mechanics.
Steve was the cover guy. He was one of the most unpopular mechanics I knew.
Say that. Use it again. I'd like to buy back issues of Unpopular Mechanics.
Well, I've got them back at my place. My favorite one was from, I think it was June 80-something. Stephen Horbrook used to shit in people's engines. Very unpopular mechanic.
I remember reading about that guy.
Well, yeah. He was so unpopular. Well, wait.
Was
So
he from New
define-
York? Was that the guy that they called the prick from Poughkeepsie?
No. That was I think that was Timmy Horton. Timmy Horton. He used to I see where you get them mixed up. He used to shit in people's gas tanks.
Oh.
Steve Horbrook shit in people's engines. Didn't do much, but you know, no one liked him. But you know what's funny? This conversation makes me wonder about the word popular. Because if everybody knows him and everybody talks about him, pretty popular guy, right?
Oh no, that's infamy.
Oh yes. Damn your syntax.
Yeah, that's like saying Hitler was popular.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good
Yeah,
call.
it depends on who you're talking to.
Well, he was
You know,
popular. Hitler was popular. You can't deny that. But I get what you're saying.
His buddy, as he was shitting in the engine, smashing out the windshield, is popular with him.
If you ever want to kill a conversation, if you ever want to get out of something and you don't mind being super awkward about it, just say, you know what? No one ever talks about the good things Hitler did.
I'm sure there were a couple of them, but unfortunately, I've always had this thought that even the good stuff that he did, in some way, you know, it was like, oh, we gave health care to the children, but unfortunately, it was, you know, vaccines that were made from, you know,
Yeah,
like,
right.
it was good, but it was bad.
But you know what I love about that? That saying. No one ever talks. I have to credit my friend. Oh my God, I haven't talked to him in years. My friend Mike from Lansing, years back. If you listen to this, Mike, weird. What a coincidence. But I love it because it doesn't make you a bad person for saying it, because you're still acknowledging that most of what he did is bad. You know.
Well, you know, it almost kind of makes you wonder if, in that regard, there's a taboo about that sort of thing that is pretty severe? Or is it just that people are too lazy to even contemplate it and they would rather just conclude, you know, like, now it's been so long, people can sit back and admire Genghis Khan's ability to get his
Right.
troops completely annihilated, drunk, and but they would still function the next day and be absolutely amazing in battle. And those guys that could like ride on a horse literally upside down between the legs that are galloping and be shooting off arrows, you know, like madmen.
Yeah.
And now that's an okay thing to talk about, but you know, today, you know, 50 years later, people are watching a Mitchell and Webb skit about how they're with them dressed up in SS uniforms, wondering to themselves whether or not they're the baddies. It still
Right.
makes people uncomfortable.
Well, and you know what I think is particularly funny about that is that Mitchell and Webb skit, which, by the way, if the listeners don't know, I don't know if you can put that up in the show notes or something. They're available on Hulu, and that exact skit is available on Hulu. And but that a lot of their skits on that show, that Mitchell and Webb look, are based on their radio show that they had, that Mitchell and Webb sound. I know that's not a joke on my behalf, but in the original radio sketch, they were Nazis. In the TV show, they were nameless bad guys, you know, with weird, you know, skulls. But they didn't when they brought that skit over to TV. They didn't, you know. I guess they probably just didn't want to wear swastikas. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah, the original radio sketch.
that might be, but when I was watching that on Hulu, it looked to me like they were wearing SS officers' uniforms.
Oh,
with the
right,
skull
right,
and
right,
crossbones,
right, right. But
they were-
everybody, because those were, I think they were in gray and not black.
Yeah, black collars.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think they were SS-ish, but SS officers still wore the band. Everybody wore the band. Did Hitler wear the band?
Yeah, he'd wear a regular jacket in the band.
Right. But the SS uniform, yeah, it was all black, and then they still had that red band. Yeah,
It's a dress
because-
uniform and a field uniform.
Well, yeah, but the
What the fuck am I even talking about? Like I know.
By the way, Make and Break is brought to you this week by
Vic's Antique Uniform Sales. See, I know all about SS uniforms because one time I saw a vintage military uniform sales website, and so I looked at things.
Oh well, no, I did.
So now I know all about it.
I did a well, right. I did a fair bit amount of research for Attack of the Monstrology because my story in that had it took place on a Nazi submarine. So, and you know what's funny is I'm not recalling the research, but I'm remembering how I drew it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that I researched it, and I'm going, wait, no, that SS officer in that one, he had the Nazi band on.
Nazi submarine. God, how insidious can you get? They're everywhere.
Or U-boats, as they were called back then.
No.
U-boat.
You're a boat.
Your face is a boat. That's why it floats.
Does it?
Does your face float? I don't know. Why don't you come over here? We'll find out, you motherfucker. That's my tough guy impersonation. That's what I think tough guys sound like. I don't know.
It's pretty incredible.